Hey, Joe. Thank you. I know. I don't know why. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Doesn't make any sense. It's forever blurry. Well, welcome tonight. Hi, Sue. Sorry it's a little blurry. I don't know. It has to be... I'm only blurry when I do lives for some reason. I don't get it. So tonight we're going to work on a shaker card. It is a different way to make a shaker. And as you can see by the... for what I have here, if you purchase place an order of $20 before March, before tax and shipping, you'll receive a free craft swag bag, and the bag will include a random Stampin' Dot, a craft eraser, a roll of foam tape, a roll of double-sided tape, a yard of miscellaneous ribbon. It may not be this, it may be something else. 12 sheets of designer series paper, 6 by 6, and then a dozen of fabric flowers. So everyone who places an order will receive that for free from me. You don't understand? Oh, why I'm blurry. I know. I don't get it either. It doesn't make any sense. So, and as a reminder, I do have a Patreon class. For $3 a month, I will teach you how to color with blends, pencils, and Copics. And I don't even know where my little Copic girl is. Here she is. And Copics. As you can see, here she is here in blends, in Copics, and then again in pencil. So that's $3 a month, and you can access it by doing patreon.com/GalFridayStamping, and there's also a card making class in there also. So if you want, take a look at that, and we're going to start with tonight's card. So we're using Just Jade, Pacific Point, and then for the inside we have the basic white with Pacific Point. And we're just going to, let's start with the base first. It is a 8.5 by 5.5 base, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And this is, I don't know about you, but hi, Laura. No, they are not all. The designer series paper is, the ribbon is, and the Stampin' Dot is. The foam and the double-sided tape is not. Hey, Peggy, how are you? This shaker card, I should say, and it's funny, I'm offering the foam tape in the swag bag, because I don't know about you, but I love shaker cards. But I always stay away from making shaker cards because I hate lining it with the foam tape and then trying to flip it and get everything right. Well, tonight's card does not use foam tape to make the shaker part. Now this card I did use just random beads that I have, but for tonight's card I'm going to actually use the elements from the Wheel of a Time sequins, so it'll look a little different. So the base, like I said, the basic card is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to add on a layer of the Pacific point, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Let me just grab my seal. Hope everybody's doing good. We had a little bit of snow today. It'll be nice when I can say, oh, it was beautiful and 60 degrees. Thank you, Peggy. Oh, okay. Okay, so there is our top layer. Now, for the front layer of the card, before we get to the shaker, what I did was I cut out the Pacific point in 5 1/4 by 4. Let me just make sure that that's correct. Yes, it is. And then I did cut the Just Jade at 5 1/4 by 4 also. And then I took, with the two pieces, I stacked them together just like this, and then centered my die, ran it through the cut and emboss, so both layers have the circle cut out in the center. Then I took a 1/16 of an inch off of each side. I like 1/8 of an inch between each layer, so that's why I did 1/16 on each side, so I knew that it would be even when I lay it down together for the card. And I ran it, after cutting out the circle, I ran it through, there it is, the cut and emboss again with the Seabed 3D embossing folder. This is the folder that comes with the Friends Are Like Seashells. No, that's a lie. That comes with the Wheel of a Time. I didn't have it banded together. So this way, when it is laid out, I'll have the 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So let's just glue this down. You know that when you want to adhere anything that's embossed, I would suggest that you use glue that I have all over already, because this way it will not crush. Just make sure it is the right way, because it's not 100%. You just want to wiggle it around a little bit and get it as close to even as possible. Just like I said, you want to use the glue so you don't crush your embossed layer. I'm just going to trim this off just a tiny little bit here, because it is not quite even. Just a smidge, and that looks better. Okay, so now that we have this layer, what I did was I took the original circle, and then I guess this one is about 1/4 of an inch larger, and ran it through with the Pacific point to cut out a little frame, and that will fit very nicely around the edge so you don't see the edge of the circle. It'll hide any imperfection in case it's not completely cut properly, but this will hide it. And again, we're going to put it on with glue. This way it gives us a little bit of wiggle room. So there's our window. Hi Karen, how are you? That's okay. Yeah, we had more snow due. Hi Kathleen. Okay, so there is the window to the front of the card. Then I took the Seaside Shells dies, and we're just going to snip off some of the greenery. This is that one die from the Friends Are Like Seashells. These are the dies. And I'm just going to fussy cut the greenery so we can add it to the front of the card. And I like this color, the Old Olive. So we can add some greenery. And then I also wanted to cut out this one. This one's a little different. Just want to see what I have here. You just have to wiggle your scissors a little just to match it. And we're just going to cut it off so we can add a different kind of leaf to the front of the card. So let's go to the shaker. What we're going to do is, and I brought a piece of dryer sheet because the static on the window sheets it seems to collect everything. So I have a piece of the window sheet, and it's 4 by 4. This will make it big enough that the hole we cut on the front of the card is sufficient to cover the square edges. So what I'm going to do, let me get some of this out of the way. I'm going to pull in my scoreboard. And working with the window sheet, it's a little tough because it is hard to fold because it's so stiff. But what we're going to do is give it a good score line at a 1/2 inch. And we're going to do that on every side. Make sure you have a nice score line, because we're going to end up folding these edges. So we're doing a 1/2 inch on each side, making sure it's lined up really well. Okay. Just for a reference, we have the inside now should be about 3 inches between each of the score lines. And again, where this is it's so stiff, I took a piece, and you could use any scraps, and that's exactly what I did. I grabbed scraps. And these are 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And we're just going to layer these together. You probably could use a piece of cardboard, the backings to the designer series paper, because that's nice and stiff. But I just took 2 scrap pieces of cardstock and laid them together because I really want this to be pretty stiff. And then I took the adorable little turtles, same size, and we're going to adhere that to this layer because this is going to be the background to our shaker. So here is the back to our shaker. Just line these up. Make sure they're adhered. Okay. So now that we have our score lines, can you see? It catches everything. What you're going to do is, on the corners, right where it comes to a nice point where the two score lines are, we are going to cut a diagonal across the corners. So we're cutting those corners off just like we're, you know, wrapping a present or wrapping a box. We're going to cut all our corners off. Just like that. Get rid of those. And then we're going to fold on the score lines. And like I said, it is not very easy, but you fold it over and really give it a good crease with your bone folder or whatever you use. I know you do. And we're going to do that on each side. So then we have nice folded edges, and that's a little off, so let's do this again. And get this side first. It's amazing how tough these window sheets are. You fold it just a little off. And that's exactly what I did. Let me just pull out my scoreboard again. I just want to get this line a little bit more scored so it's a little easier. It's just this one side wanted to give me trouble. Okay. Get a good, nice good fold. And then we're going to do the same thing to the last side. Okay. Now that it's folded, we're going to take our insert and we're going to fit it inside this little square. Now it should fit nicely in there. And we're going to grab our tearing tape. Here it is, right in front of my face. And we're going to line some tearing tape on those edges that we just folded. I'm going to go around the whole square here. And I'm putting it right pretty close to the score line. So this way we have a nice seal when this gets finished. My cat is playing. I don't know what he has. I hate to look. He's my crafting buddy. If I don't let him in, he cries at the door. Okay, one more. Now the reason you want to make sure your edges are nicely burnished is this little, like I said, the plastic really is strong. And you want it to pop and puff a little bit so you have the rattle, but you don't want it to be so puffy that it's going to alter your card. So all we're going to do is we'll start with one side. Just saw a piece of cat hair. And we're going to remove the paper. Make sure it's even inside that little square. And then we're going to fold it down. Now I would take your bone folder and really smush that down so it adheres, because again, the window seems to pop. And then we're going to do it to, look at that, here's another piece of cat hair. That's Iggy for us. He's all over the place. And then again, we're going to fold it down. Really push that down. And then let's see where we are. And then we're going to do one more side. So now we have 3 sides that we have connected. Okay? So we have a nice little pouch. You have your edges down with the tape. Yeah, Iggy comes in here, and pulls everything apart. And Hal comes in here and rips at all my plastic. Anything plastic he chews on. Just going to grab a little spoon here. Okay, so now that we have our pouch, we're just going to open it up and add some of our sequins. And you can put as many or as few as you want. Could just turn it over and check to see. That looks like a good amount. Oops. Let's add these in here too. Just going to close this up so we don't have ourselves a disaster. And then we're just going to remove the paper from the last side, fold it over, push it down, and there is your little shaker pouch. Just like that. So much easier. I know the window sheet is a little difficult, but it just saves having to put all that foam around. So now we're ready for the front of the card. We're going to take our pouch. I'm going to use glue, and I'm going to put the glue in the center because it takes a little longer to dry on the window sheet. And we're just going to set this in the center of the card. Just like that. Let that dry for a minute. I'm just going to grab some white cardstock. I forgot to grab an extra piece. While that's taking a little dry, I'm going to grab one of the turtles and the Old Olive. I love Old Olive. And we're going to stamp one of these turtles. Now, to make him stand out a little bit more, I grabbed the dark pineapple punch And I'm going to highlight all these white areas that are on his shell with the pineapple punch. And we're just doing it a quick little brush with the brush side, just like that. Really quick and easy. Turtles in green, mine too. Hi Christine, welcome. Oh no. Yes, they don't like the vet at all. Poor Ig, he was a, while I'm grabbing my light old olive, Iggy was a stray. He used to visit when I took my dog out before he passed. And we got into winter, and I ended up buying a heated cat house and closed off my back porch, put the house on the back, and we felt so bad, we ended up bringing him in. And because he had been attacked by somebody, and we felt so bad. So we ended up having to, we had him fixed. He had to have an operation on the, where he was attacked. So it probably cost us about $1,000 to bring in this stray cat. But he's a sweetheart. We love him to death. Okay, so I'm going to grab some light old olive. And this time I'm going to use the nib end. And I am just going to color where the lighter of the greens are. And then on his shell, going around the yellow, just to darken his shell up a little bit. And hit over here. Oh, can't forget his little fin. And then I'm going to grab the dark old olive. And again, I'm going to use the nib end. And I am going to go around and under his shell. And we're going to separate out this piece of his shell here. Just like that. Get a little on his fin. Put some dots on his feet. Then we're just going to go grab the light old olive again, and we're just going to blend this out a little bit so it's not so dark. You don't see that division line. There we go. And then he doesn't have a die, so I should have done this before, I'm sorry. But let's just fussy cut him out. By the time we're done, our shaker card should be dry. I did add a lot of glue to make sure that it adhered well. Don't want that. Give him a little round. But we're just going to cut around. As you notice, I'm just leaving a little tiny bit of white around the image. I don't really like that really wide whiteness. Like I had said, I think when we did the explosion box, you can always take a really light gray marker and just color in the white space around your image. It just dulls the white, creates a little bit of a shadow, and it doesn't stand out as much. See, on him it doesn't really look too bad. So we're just going to leave it like that. He's all cut out. So we'll go back to our card. See, it isn't completely dry yet. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some glue. We're going to go around the frame, and then we are going to center this. I'm going to stand up so I can make sure that it's centered. Okay. And then as crazy as it sounds, I'm just going to make sure it's centered and weight it down just so that has a few minutes to dry. So while that's drying, let's jump into the inside. We have some Pacific Point 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, basic white 5 1/4 by 4. And I made the inside very easy. I actually stamped off. Grab a scrap piece of paper, and we're going to grab the old olive. And as you can see, the little turtles, I just have them, looks like they're floating through the water. So we're going to stamp off. I want to make sure I have this on here straight. And we'll get one here. Stamp off again. Have him coming up. And then one more time, and he is actually going off the page. So he looks like he's floating across the bottom of the card. Then we're going to bring in our Pacific Point, and the sentiment that I use is, let's see, is it from this one? I believe it is. Nope, it's from the Well Done. My love for you is bigger than the ocean. And we're just going to grab the Pacific Point. And this we're going to stamp full strength right over top of the turtles. Oops, didn't get the ocean. Let's see if I can line this up. Nope. Let me just grab another piece, everybody. Never fails. I think I caught the edge of the pit. It must be something that's not flat. Okay, we'll try this one more time. Old olive. I think if I ever do a card and I don't make a mistake, I'll be amazed. Okay, let's make sure this is... Okay, so he's stamped off. He's stamped off. If you have even a tiny little piece of paper or anything, oh, 19, bless his heart. We don't know how old Iggy is. And then I have 3 others who, I have Louise and Thelma, and they're sisters. And then Thelma had gotten out when she was a baby, and a tomcat got a hold of her, and she had one baby. So we named the baby Hal. So we have Thelma and Louise and Hal, and now Iggy. And those guys should be, oh my goodness, they should be about 13 now. Okay, let's try this again. Give it a good stamp. There we go. Perfect. Just put that aside. We can use that again. And grab our Pacific Point. And we're just going to adhere this, whoops, went off the edge, to the inside of the card. I think the punch with the card is throwing me off. I just want it to dry really well. Okay, so there's the inside done. Let's see how this is making out. Okay, I think it's drying pretty good. So we're just going to grab our greenery. I didn't even do anything special to it. Just add a little bit of glue. And we're just going to add this to the front. On this one, I only added the one color, but I figured I'd add a little bit of a brighter green. And we'll offset it a little bit, just so you can see both the greens. I'm just going to add this in layers. And then we're going to grab a dimensional, grab our little turtle, and we're going to cover up all this little mess here so you don't even know it's there, just like that. And let's see, I don't know where I put my little acetate jewels. I cleaned up real quick today to make sure everything was nice. You'd never know it now. Nice and neat on my desk. Let's see. And they're probably right here in front of me and I just don't see them. That's usually what happens. Nope, don't see them. Okay, let's see what we have here. We'll do some diamonds on this one. Like I said, I'll find it after the video is done. I just wanted to add a little bling. And we're just going to add it on randomly. I know the shaker part, there's lots of bling inside. But it's always nice to add a little extra. And when you add them, it's always good to add an odd number. It just gives it a bit of character. Yeah, can you believe it, too? Okay, and then we're going to tie a bow. Somebody must have been in here. Look, see? I told you I would find them. Right there in front of my face. Alright, so let's grab a bow. I think this time we will grab... Let's grab the Just Jade. That'll look nice on this too. So I'm only going to make a little tiny... as you can see, I lost the other side of my spool. I have no idea what happened to it. Yeah, he could have. I'm always finding stuff all over. Iggy likes my ribbons. Alright, let's see if we can't get this bow. Whoops. I cut it short again. I have a bad habit of cutting my ribbon just a little bit too short. Okay. Just like that. And see what happens when you put things away. I know that happens with me, that I can't find it. Well, what happened too, when I first started, my computer was acting up. I was like, oh, here we go again. Okay, let's just cut these little tails. Just like that. And add this middle of the card. Okay, and there it is. So simple to create a shaker card. This one I actually put too many of the sequins in, so it's bulging. This one came out much better. And there is a quick and easy shaker card. And just as a reminder, if you place a $20 order using this host code, you'll get a 12-pack of random designer series paper. You will get a random Stampin' Spot, a craft eraser, a roll of foam, a roll of double-sided tape, a dozen craft flowers, and then a yard of Stampin' Up! Ribbon. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's card. I'll have all the directions on a PDF in the room tomorrow by 12 o'clock. And I hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Christine. Yeah, the diamond accents, you can actually see them better, huh? This one you can't see, but this one you can. Nice and sparkly. And there we go. Have a great night. Oh, yeah, that's true. Have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. I'll probably jump in sometime tomorrow. If Emma, if you're... Yeah, it's really great, huh, Ruth? I mean, it just makes it so much simpler than having to line with the tape and filling it and trying to get everything all even and not make... It's just quick and easy. And the layers are there. It's a little pouch. And it's just the perfect little shaker card, because I love shakers. You're very welcome. So watch for me tomorrow. Emma, if you're home tomorrow, I want to experiment with my new program. And I'll see. Oh, good. So then I will call you and we'll get online tomorrow so I can check out this new program. So have a great night. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.